Hello, good afternoon. Today we're going to practice simultaneous interpreting. I'm going to oralize the text and do so very, very, very fast. As you know, for some time I haven't been editing the videos too much because real life is not perfect and I refuse to fall into the trap of trying to be perfect on social media. So off we go, if you're ready. Good afternoon and welcome to this meeting, both to those of you present in the room as well as people following us on Zoom. I know that many of you have just arrived in Spain, a couple of you in fact only 3 days ago, but you're already feeling overwhelmed with red tape and bureaucracy you have encountered. That is why this afternoon I'm going to talk about the requirements to obtain your residence permit in Spain if you come from a non-EU member country. Although we will be talking about how to obtain your residence permit in Spain for the first time, I'm going to list the visas you can apply for as a non-EU member citizen first. And they are as follows. A study or language assistant visa, which in Spanish is called auxiliar de conversación, residence visa without working permit exemption, researcher visa, internship visa, family reunification visa, employment visa, self-employed work visa, visa for highly qualified workers and intra-company transfers, investor visa, entrepreneur visa, non-lucrative residence visa, long-term residence visa, or EU long-term residence recovery visa, and finally, working holiday visa. First of all, you need to know there are two different types of residence permits: temporary residence and long-term or permanent residence. A temporary residence allows a foreign citizen to live and work in Spain short term. That is to say, more than 90 days and less than 5 years. Whereas a permanent residence permit allows you to work and live in the same conditions as Spanish citizens. However, to apply, you would need to prove, first of all, that you have been living legally in the country for a continuous period of 5 years. That is particularly important. It's a continuous period of 5 years, as well as meet a series of very strict criteria. I'm not going to go into detail about them today because most of you are new arrivals in the country, as I said at the beginning of my presentation. Once you have entered the country, you have 3 months to submit your application. The first step in the application process is registering at the local council. You cannot apply for residence unless you are registered at the Municipal Administrative Register, which is known in Spanish as Padrón. Once this step is completed, you can apply at the non-nationals office or relevant police station in the province where you intend to stay or establish a residence. This is a decision you will have had to make in the previous step when you registered at the local council. For this, you are required to book an appointment to apply, and you also have to bring a valid passport or identity document. If your identity document has expired, you should present a copy and the renewal application. Likewise, you will always need to bring with you the original documents and copies of relevant documents you are required to submit. I'm going to insist you need to bring the originals. Even though you are asked to bring a photocopy, you always need the originals. An example of this would be a pass for the transfer of people enjoying temporary protection or a holder of laissez-passer. Once you have registered, you will be immediately issued a registration certificate. The details included on the certificate are your name, nationality, address in the country, NIE or non-national identification number, as well as the date of registration. As I know that none of the people attending the meeting today is working yet, although I have been told that some of you have already gone to job interviews or intend to register as self-employed workers, this afternoon I will only talk about the documentary evidence you should provide as a person not in active employment. And I'm going to repeat this again. Documentary evidence you should provide as a person not in active employment. Documents. Proof of public or private health insurance. It can be either contracted in Spain or another country, but it should provide coverage in Spain for the period of residence and be equivalent to the coverage provided by the national healthcare system in this country. You also need to provide evidence that you have enough resources for yourselves and your family members for the period of residence. As, of course, family circumstances may vary from person to person, these assessments are always carried out on a case-by-case basis, taking into account both the personal and family circumstances of the individual concerned. Finally, I hope I've covered all the information I wanted to give you this afternoon and that you will be needing. If you all agree, maybe we could now give the floor to attendees on Zoom and have an interesting and interactive Q&A session together. Thank you very much for your attention.